Yo, what's up, you guys? I know I haven't been with you for a while talking about the Detroit Lions, but I'm back on today. This is TA of Noble Sports Entertainment. We're going to talk about the season ending review with the Detroit Lions. And without further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Um, Man, it's a lot of things to say. It's a lot of things not to say. The season did not go as well. It's another season of failure. But at the same time, you got an opportunity to see two guys excel this season, and that was Kenny Galladay and Kerryon Johnson. Even though Kerryon Johnson went down in the Panthers game, definitely he could have been 1,000-yard running back this season. But the Lions decided to just hold him out the remainder of the game so that they can get healthy and be able to do some things next season. Definitely, if you want to keep Zach Zenner, you could use the combination of Zach Zenner and also as well as using Kerryon Johnson. Now the thing about that is that what I'm saying, the Lions are definitely going to have to get another running back in here too as well. The experiment with LeGarrette Blount didn't go as planned. And I'm not, and there's no knock on LeGarrette Blount. He came to a team and to a franchise that never wins, and there's a lot of things that Detroit need to correct. The number one thing that I see that Detroit Lions need, they need some dogs on this team, and they do not have that. And what do I mean by dogs? I'm talking about basically the Detroit Lions need to have guys that can make plays. I'm talking about a guy like a Aaron Donald. I'm talking about a guy like a Khalil Mack. I'm talking about a guy that can make noise like a Von Miller, that can cause havoc. They need guys on defense that's a dog. The Detroit Lions continue every season to get Matthew Stafford all these different weapons, but they're still not panning out. And it's crazy. The thing about it is that Matthew Stafford's line does have to get better. Some of the young guys will be coming up. I think that the Detroit Lions definitely need to part ways with TJ Lane. I think his time is over and done. You got too many guys that's getting injured and not being able to contribute like you would want to see on the team. And Ziggy Ansah, man, what a disappointing year for Ziggy Ansah, man. Barely on the field, but the guy collected $17 million this season. And I definitely think that the Detroit Lions will part ways with Ziggy Ansah. I think that it's time. I think that the Detroit Lions are going to have to go out to some pass rushers this season. Somebody to be able to help Snacks Harrison, who came on the team and was very, very helpful on the team, and a very good player. You need linebackers. You're going to need on this team. You're going to need some more linebackers. Kennard, I think he's better at rushing the quarterback more so than anything else. He's a guy that you could keep. Christian Jones, he really didn't. He was kind of hit and miss this season. He really didn't play like I thought he would, especially a linebacker at that size. These guys got size, him and Kennard, 6'3", 6'4", respectively. And I just thought that these guys should be able to cause havoc, but they don't really have the dog in them. And what I mean by that is they don't have that it. They don't have that swagger about them that allows them to make a lot of plays out on the field. And that's what you need. Golden Tate was traded this season. So different things happened this season with the Detroit Lions. But I said from day one, when I saw the Lions in the preseason, and a lot of guys was like, saying that I didn't know what I was talking about, or just saying that we didn't know what we were talking about, when other guys were probably in agreement on the same thing, that the Detroit Lions, to me, they just didn't execute this season. It came to that, guys, that the Detroit Lions did not execute this season. And that's something that I wanted to say on this part 3 of the Detroit Lions Conundrum, is that they didn't execute this season. And some guys were being nitpicky as far as, we're practicing out in the cold. The leadership and the things of that nature just wasn't intact like it should be. Even though Darius Slay made the Pro Bowl this season, he didn't play like Darius Slay normally plays. He could have been better this season. Grover Quinn could have been better, but sometimes it's the system. I definitely think that the defensive coordinator Pascalini, you're going to have to do away with him. And why not get Steve Wilkes? Because the Arizona Cardinals are parting ways with head coach Steve Wilkes, and he was a defensive coordinator on that Carolina Panthers team that went to the Super Bowl. So why not think about bringing Steve Wilkes in and giving him a shot to be the Detroit Lions coordinator? They need to get better on defense. If you can't stop anybody in this league, you're not going to go anywhere. And I just hate that the Detroit Lions waited to the end of the season to give Brandon Powell an opportunity. Brandon Powell should have been playing, and the Detroit Lions know this. No, now after Golden Quinn was traded, that's when you should have brought in Brandon Powell, because T.J. Jones has been a part of this team for a long time and really has not made any noise, really. He's caught some passes, don't get me wrong, and I'm not here to bash T.J. Jones. He caught passes, but at the same time, you need guys as playmaker. Kenny Golladay is not going to be able to get it done by himself. Marvin Jones underachieved this season, going down early with the knee injury. And I don't know whether the Detroit Lions will trade him. The Detroit Lions definitely need to rebuild a little bit at the receiving group, in the receiving core, because it's going to be led by Kenny Golladay now. Kenny Golladay, the torch has been passed to him this season, and he is now the Detroit Lions' #1 receiver. And the Detroit Lions are going to have to bring in some more talent on this team. And they had opportunities to pick up guys, but the Detroit Lions, they just didn't bring any guys in. So Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia are definitely going to have to go to work. Patricia is very, very lucky guy that he's not being fired this season as well, because I know that Coach Steve Wilkes went down, and the Arizona Cardinals parted way with him without just being on the team for one season. And I think that a new head coach needs at least 2 to 3 years to try to change the culture of the team. And we know that the Detroit Lions culture has not always been the greatest culture. We know that. We know that these guys need to learn how to win. Nevin Lawson being brought on the team, definitely, I was totally against that. And we see that Nevin Lawson is not a #2 cornerback. He can keep up with guys, but he don't make plays. He don't intercept the ball, and he just does not make plays. And he gets burnt a lot. Tease Tabor, man, he let a lot of the fans down this season, man. We thought that we was going to have the growth of Tease Tabor this year, and he regressed, and he ended up losing his starting spot over to rookie Mike Ford. And it's kind of crazy, man, but Tease Tabor did not pan out like I thought he was. I thought that Tease Tabor was going to develop this season, especially being a bigger corner. I thought that his ball instincts would be better this season, but that was not the case this season. So I don't think that the Detroit Lions will bring Tease Tabor back. They definitely don't need to bring Nevin Lawson back. You definitely don't need to bring Ziggy Ansah back. It's some changes that the Lions are going to have to do. This year, the Lions are going to have to really, really try to find some dogs. And it's not always the first round or the second round. It's the late guys. Where you wanted to count at in this draft, because the Lions, I believe, I don't know, they got a lot of picks this season. I think they got at least 8 or 9, I don't know, picks. I'll go back into that and find out how many picks they get this season. But at the same time, the Lions need to find playmakers and dogs out there, guys that's going to play with each other and try to rack up some wins. This team does not know how to win, and it needs to learn how to win. Now, I know just because Patricia came over from New England, I just didn't think that the culture would change right away. But at the same time, the team have to buy into what the coach is selling. And once you got guys that's buying in to what the coach is selling, then the Detroit Lions will be better. But they got a lot of things to do. They got a lot of things to work on, man. This team needs everything. And that's why this is a conundrum. That's why I'm talking about this in part 3, that the Detroit Lions need to find playmakers. They need to find dogs. They need to find guys that's going to give it their all when they're out on the field. Guys that's going to bring it 100%. Not guys that is injured all the time and can't perform and can't play at a high level. The Detroit Lions need this on this team, guys. And I see that right now. that the Detroit Lions need to find a way to be able to find playmakers in the draft and in the free agency. They need to do it. They need to find a way. And also, this was not a great year for Matthew Stafford. This was not one of the best years that Matthew Stafford could have had out there on the field this season. This season he looked more like a game manager than looking like his normal self, slinging the ball and being able to create some havoc out there on the field. Even though the Lions won this last game against the Packers and ended up sweeping the Packers this season, it's just the Detroit Lions just never could get. They were a shell of themselves. They just could not get this team to the next level. And I know this possibly could be Glover Quinn's last season with the Detroit Lions. And if so, you know what I'm saying, definitely salute to Glover Quinn. He was a playmaker out there. He made plays. He made things happen. He was a very good player and consistent player for the Detroit Lions, but it just did not pan out this season in that new system with Patricia. So now you're going to have to go away from him to go into a young guy like Tracy Walker and asking him to develop and work hard in the offseason and pick up his game so that he can be that starting safety. So the Lions definitely are going to have to, just get better, man, defensively. Defensively, if they can get a front seven and some linebackers that can play, this team could be a whole lot better. But until they find those dogs and until they find guys that are going to make great efforts out on the field, then this Lions team is not going to go anywhere. And you're going to be talking about the same thing year in and year out. So we'll see, man. But this is the season ender review, and this is the Detroit Conundrum Part 3. And Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia are going to have to do their homework this season. And they're going to have to find ways to make this team better and this franchise better. If not, these guys won't be here long. And to me, if you ask me what the real problem is, I think that it's time to change ownership. The Fords have owned this team for a long time, and I think it's time for the Fords to sell this team. Maybe that may be the reason why these guys can't get to the next level, because they're so interested in filling up seats than they are putting a winning product out on the field. And as a Detroit Lions fan, you should be frustrated year in and year out that your team sucks and your team can't win. And I've been rooting for these guys for a very, very long time, man. And I'm almost at my wit's end, man. And I just hate that the things that happen. The Lions will always be in my heart, and they will always play a part of my heart, man. But at the same time, man, I'm tired of seeing this franchise struggle and not have the pieces on the team that they need to eventually make a Super Bowl run. That's what it's all about, and that's what it's always ever been about. So the Detroit Lions are going to have to find a way to get some wins. So a lot of us fans was really wanting this team to win, man. And we wanted this team to win bad. You know, I predicted the Lions to go 10-6. I was wrong, guys. I'm sorry about that. My prediction was wrong. The Lions did not go to head. They went the opposite way. But at the same time, there's a lot of positive things that you can take into this season. And that's being able to look off this win off the Packers, go into the offseason with the mindset of looking for dogs. No matter what round they come in, you got to look for guys that's going to make plays. The Lions need a corner that's going to be a stud. I don't know if Mike Ford will be the starting corner next season. Definitely give the guy an opportunity and a shot to try to win the job. But also draft a corner. This team, man, needs playmakers. And I've stated that so many times. I've stated my case in saying that so many times, that the Detroit Lions need to find playmakers on this team. And until they find them dogs and them alpha dogs out there and guys that, you know what I'm saying, can make plays, this team will be mediocre at best. Matthew Stafford wants to stay with the Detroit Lions, but will he take the Detroit Lions to the next level? You know, I understand, wanting to play for a franchise your whole entire career and being comfortable with this franchise. But would you be doing Matthew a favor if you traded him and allowed him to go to a situation that is better? You know what I mean? Because I think it would cost like 10 million against the cap if the Lions were to trade Matthew Stafford. These are things to consider, man. They need to go out to playmakers this season. In the free agency, they need to go out to playmakers. And I'll be talking about some guys. I'll still be bringing up some guys that the Lions should consider because I'm doing a thing called what Detroit Lions must consider this free agent. And I'm still going to be putting some names out there and things of that nature, being active on that. But at the same time, guys, I want to see this franchise turn things around. I'm tired of seeing the Lions put a losing product out on the field year in and year out. No matter what coach they have, this team can't win. No matter what players they have, this team cannot win. And you wonder why Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson retired early. All right, you guys, this is TA of Noble Sports Entertainment. I'll be back to you soon talking a little bit about the Detroit Lions a little bit more. But until next time, we talk sports, period.